Hey, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Wanted to share with you the leadership cheat sheet that I've created for you today. This is a fantastic tool when you want to quickly determine where an employee is at, where a team member's at, and especially this is useful if you find that someone is not getting the results that you would desire for them to get. And so if you see the resource here on the screen, and I have the download available underneath. What you see here is a little quadrant where you can walk through this process of determining where your particular employee is at. So think of a current team member and decide if they want to do their job or if they don't want to do their job. Okay, I want to. So you see on the quadrant here, I want to, I don't want to. And let's say they don't want to. So you've determined they don't want to do their job. And now let's decide if they, step number 2, don't know how to do their job or if they know how to do their job. All right. So let's say that they don't know how to do their job. So if they don't want to and they don't know how, they would be in this UU quadrant in the bottom corner. And I call that the unwilling and unable, because in reality, there's only 2 reasons why people don't accomplish a task. They are either unwilling or unable. Now, they could be both. So they could be unwilling and unable. And many times, if they're unwilling to do it and they're unable, it's because they're not willing to because they're unable. So with those folks, we probably want to transition. Let me give you an example. You might promote a person beyond their capacity. And if you promote them beyond their capacity and you start talking to them, they say, I just don't want to do this. Okay, what's the problem? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. I've tried it and I just can't comprehend it. Okay, we don't need to remove them from the organization. We just need to maybe put them back in the place they were before, because you promoted them for a reason. So they were probably doing great in another role. Maybe they just aren't good for a leadership role and they need to go back to a individual contributor role, and you can move them back into that slot. So you want to transition those folks and really find out why. Now, if we have a person that is unwilling but they're able, that's a bad place to be. If they're unwilling and they're able, so they know how to do it but they just say, I'm not gonna do it. They're either insubordinate or they're ready to retire. I mean, those are really the only 2 options. So they really fall into that quadrant of total loss. You can't do anything with a person that knows how to do their job, but they just say, I'm not going to do it. Well, why am I paying you to show up each day? So that's where they would fall. Now, if you have a person that is willing and able, so this is why this resource can be used for every situation. If you have a person that's willing and able, I mean, that's what you want every person to be. They're willing to do the job and they're able to do the job. Those are the people you want to challenge. You want to continue to challenge them into new areas, into new places where they have to learn, they have to grow, they have to develop. You want to promote those folks that are willing and able. And then the people that maybe you come in and you go, hey, what's going on? I've found that you aren't accomplishing the task. You aren't meeting the quota. You aren't reaching the goal that I've placed in front of you. And this is what I tell my clients to do. I tell them, just simply have the conversation. Just be very frank, use candor with your team members, but in a kind and gentle way. Say, I've really found that there are only 2 reasons why people don't execute on a job, and it's really because they're either unwilling or unable. Which one would you find yourself to be in? And that gives them an opportunity to say, you know what, I want to do the job. Don't get me wrong, I want to do the job, but I just don't know how to do the job. If that's the case, you want to equip those folks, give them the tools, resource them, ask them, say, hey, what do you need to get the job done? What do you need to move forward? And then equip them and set them up for success. So that's a quick way that you can kind of determine where your people are at. And if they're not getting the results that you desire, you can find out. You can even have them present this in front of them and have them self-assess and say, hey, where do you think you would fit in on this quadrant? Would you be willing, unwilling, able, unable? and have them go through and assess themselves. And that's a great way for you to coach them through the process and them to really go inside and figure out why they're not reaching that goal. All right, I hope that helps you. Make sure you download it, keep it, use it, and I hope you find tremendous benefit from it. Have a great day. People are anxious. There's a frustration. There's an anxiety on the inside. People are anxious for what? To improve themselves. So what happens? We just keep going around the same mountain, right? We therefore remain bound. We just have the same experience, the same problems we had 10 years ago, we're still having today. But not after today. Not after this session, right? We are all going to take action. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to take action, and we are going to work on ourselves to take responsibility for our own leadership. Can we do that? My dream is to help you live yours. And I do that by assessing and training and equipping and developing your teams so you don't have to.